Cheers and welcome my friends, I'm Horath and this is going to be a short info video about all the new features and changes that patch 1.23 Persia introduces to Europa Universalis. I've made a similar video about all the features that you get if you buy the Cradle of Civilization DLC that accompanies patch 1.23, because Paradox has been so kind and has given me access to the patch and a copy of the DLC free of charge so that I can make some videos. And that's exactly what I want to do. So this video is going to focus on the free changes. If you want to see the DLC features, there's going to be a link in the description that you can follow. I'm not going to go through all the patch notes in this video. That's not the idea. I'm just going to go through sort of the most important changes and just feature changes to trade goods and to a bunch of other stuff that is coming with the new patch. One of the best features, or basically the best feature in my opinion, is the startup screen that you get with the new Persia patch. So whenever you start a new game with a country, you're going to get a lot of background information on startup. So it's more extensive for the bigger nations. So I've picked France to have, so that you can get an idea how that looks. The real cool thing about this is though that it is also going to tell you if there are any special mechanics for the country that you're playing. So for example, this one tells me that because I have the El Dorado DLC active, we're going to have the colonial region stuff that are going to be bestowed by the papacy. It's going to tell me that because I have the rights of man, that my monarchs can have consort and so forth. And that is actually a really good feature, especially if you maybe haven't played Europa Universalis for a while and then come back. You maybe don't remember all the mechanics or all the stuff, and then you can get a bit of a nice refresh over here. And it's also really great for playing in areas of the globe that maybe you don't know as much about as, let's say, France or England or the other big players, but maybe smaller countries. It's also going to give you some information about the environment. Like it's going to tell me about the HRE and how that works. It's going to tell me that there are certain additional mechanics in common sense with the free imperial cities. So that's a really, really good addition. I'm very happy with that, and that is free in the patch. So as with all the last couple of patches for Europa Universalis, the 1.23 patch, Persia patch, is focused on one specific region, and that is the East or Middle East, depending on how you see it. We've seen that with the Hungary patch, which added new provinces and more detail to Hungary. Poland patch, we had the Prussia patch, we had the Russia patch. All these have added new tags and new provinces, and the Persia patch does the same. Lots and lots of changes. I can't go over all of them, but we have a bunch of new playable tags like Medina over here that has been added. We have Yaz, lots of new provinces on Arabia itself. Over here, Horn of Africa has been gaining more provinces. Mamluks have been overworked with new provinces and stuff. The Caucasus has received a bunch of new playable tags over here. Anatolia has gotten a rework where it's gotten more detailed, and then we have also a bunch of additional tags in Persia and the Persian area over here, and in the Timurid area. So the Timurids have gotten a major rework in patch 1.23, and they are no longer a horde, they are now an empire, and they do have the Ikta government, which, if you have the DLC, will give you some specific interactions with them, but even so, does grant some nice bonuses. And their special circumstance is that they are being ruled by Shah Rukh at the beginning of the campaign, but he's already very old, the son of Timolan, and once he dies, all hell is going to break loose, because he actually gives his country minus 50% liberty desire in subjects, and that's quite a bit. Once they are gone, things are going to be nasty, because our subjects, Transaxonia, Sistan, Khorasan, Fars, and Afghanistan, are already hankering for independence. So as soon as Shah Rukh dies, there's going to be a free-for-all between all of them. And Ajam, who should actually normally still be a vassal of theirs, is already basically independent in this start. So Timurids have gotten a lot more interesting to play in this new patch. The new patch introduces 5 new trade goods with various benefits. These new trade goods are glass, gems, paper, livestock, and incense. Glass production is mainly based in Europe, although there are not a lot of provinces that are producing it. Most notably probably Venice, which will gain a massive modifier once they have the Murano Island glass production. Glass does increase your local production efficiency by 10%, which is pretty nice. Gems, very valuable. I think the only place where you can find gems in Europe is Königsberg over here. Gems, very valuable. I think that is in here because of the amber production that the Teutonic Order had in the area. Increases your local tax modifier by plus 15%. Then you have some paper production in northern Italy, which makes sense, definitely. Reduces your state maintenance by 10%, also very good. Then you have the incense over here, which gives you plus 10% trade value modifier, also very valuable. And then we have livestock. Livestock should increase, yeah, it does increase the supply limit in the province where it's at by 50%. And I really like the livestock change because now we don't have to imagine all of Arabia actually just producing grain, but instead provinces where it's either too hilly or people were just going for livestock over grain actually are properly represented. So all goats and camels and horses and whatever else people used to have as livestock are represented by that. And the Nile Delta area has gotten a new modifier, Granary of the Mediterranean, which increases the amount of grain that they produce over there by 2. So that's also pretty nice, increasing the importance of the Nile. Next thing on the list of things that have been reworked is piety for Muslim rulers. In the old system you had a range from low piety to high piety. That is no longer the case. Now the range goes from one type of piety to another type of piety. You're ranging between legalism, which increases your national tax, your national manpower, and reduces your tech cost, to mysticism, which increases your missionary strength, morale of armies, and fort defense. And all the events pertaining to this have been reworked. If you do have the DLC, you can also sacrifice some of your current piety from the direction that you have been going for some short-term gain. But yeah, the old piety system is gone, and now we have a spectrum between legalism and mysticism. Karakoyunlu and their neighbor Akkoyunlu have been reworked. They now have both their own set of national ideas, specific national ideas just for them, and they're actually quite good, those national ideas. And they also have their own set of government. They are a tribal federation, which reduces their province war score cost, reduces the years of separatism, and increases the cavalry to infantry ratio, which is quite nice. If you have the DLC, you can also interact with that government, but even if you don't, then you can still profit from their unique government form. One nice change of the rework of Anatolia is that the Ottomans have lost all their cores that they don't currently control at the start of the game. They have a core in Albania, but that is basically all they have. So they won't be able to eat those independent Turk countries in Anatolia quite as quick as they used to in prior patches. Ardabil is one of the newly added tags in the patch, and it also has a unique form of government that the Persian countries can also take, and that is the Feudal Theocracy, which is basically a monarchy but focused very sharply towards the faith, which gives you more missionary strength and more tolerance of the true faith. This varies a little bit between the level of your country. So if you're an empire, I think you gain better bonuses regarding that, and you can adopt that if you're another Persian country. If you do have the DLC as well, then you can interact with the government in specific ways and change certain stances every 20 years. But even without that, you still get the unique feudal theocracy. With the new patch, the Turk countries also have access to the Ottoman government if they manage to take out the Ottomans and create the Sultanate of Rum. Via a decision. They also do get access to this unique form of government. If they do have the DLC, they can also use pashas and janissaries, but even without that, they have a pretty strong, unique form of government there. The Persia patch also adds religion and culture for all the advisors. You can see that over here, if they're accepted or not. what kind of religion they are. It adds that to the advisors, I think to the Sultan, to the heir, and to the consort. So basically all the people that have a role on court. And I think that also impacts various events. If you have people from another culture or another religion, it can impact your country. The last unique form of government that you have is the Mamluk Government. They have their own sort of government where it is a lot about integrating and promoting different cultures, because they're sort of a cultural mishmash. It does increase the monarch administrative skill by 2 just on its own. If you do have the DLC, you get certain interactions with the current with the culture of the current ruler and all that, but even without that, you still have a government that is really, really good. That +2 monarch admin skill is actually very tasty. One real nice quality of life feature that made it into the patch is that you now get shown the range of pips that you will get if you roll for a new general. So this guy will have between 2 and 7 pips as a base. Let's roll the dice. And we can see that we got the lower end. Just my luck. But that's actually pretty nice that you know what you can expect. This guy, for example, was on the upper end with 5 pips. So yeah, that's pretty cool. It's even showing that for rulers. So let's roll this guy. Yeah, all in all, okay-ish rolls. But it's nice that you can see what the spread would be. The new patch does introduce 2 new manufactories. One, we get the farm estate for grain, livestock, or wine. And then we also do get the mill for paper, gems, tropical wood, glass, or chinaware. You get the farm estate after Admin Tech 6. And I think you get the mill after Admin Tech 16. And that concludes the video. There are some additional improvements that I can't really show you, like improvements to the AI. Apparently the building AI has been improved a lot, so the AI is much better at building them and increasing their income. And apparently also the multiplayer has been improved, less desyncs. There's no real way for me to show you that kind of stuff. Please be advised that with the 1.23 patch, your old save games won't be usable anymore. So if you still want to finish a game, you can do that by reverting to an older game state. To do that, right-click on the game on Steam, go to Properties, and then go to Betas. And then you see a drop-down menu, and you can actually opt into an older version of the game before the 1.23 patch to finish your game before you then move on to the Persia patch. If you found this video helpful in one form or another, then please leave a like so that it can show up in search results. If you didn't, if you have any comments, criticism, then please leave it in the comments so I can improve. And if you want to see more of my stuff in the future, please consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks. Bye-bye.